Greetings, friends. Reformed Stoic back with another video. So I've been thinking about loneliness, isolation, lonely people. Couple of people popped up on X that just really kind of stuck with me. One person in particular just talking about how they've been isolated their entire life. Like, they just sounded really down bad, man. Like they've never had friends. They've never loved anyone. And from the bottom of my heart, I told that person, please go to my channel, Reformed Stoic on YouTube, and watch my videos on isolation. And that person liked my comment, and I really hope that they did. And it wasn't a grift. It wasn't like, trying to, ooh, here's my opportunity. Here's my opportunity to get something from this down bad person. But I just have the belief that my isolation content probably could help people who have been heavily isolated. And I just went to my channel and searched isolation, and every video that popped up, I put in that isolation playlist. And I think I'm actually going to go through and rewatch those videos as well. So today's topic is my advice for lonely people. And it is twofold, and it's a tough one, guys, because it involves beliefs. It involves what you believe. And when you tell people to believe things, especially when it's some of that Bible kind of stuff, you might get hit with that Reddit atheist, like, but I'm too smart to believe that, or how could anybody believe that in the current year? We have science. It's tough, and I understand where people are coming from, and obviously my beliefs have struggled. I've considered changing, shifting. Maybe some people are wondering where I'm at. Actually, probably nobody's wondering where I'm at because nobody cares. But there's two things that I would highly encourage you, the lonely viewer, to believe. And we'll get to whether or not I think that these things are true after I list them. First of all, I would highly encourage you to believe that there is some sort of a truth to what the Bible says about sex. That sex is between a married man and woman, and that any sex outside of that is basically bad. I would highly encourage you as a lonely person to accept that. Now, does that mean I'm telling you that you shouldn't try to have sex? I mean, I've pretty much said on my channel, like, hey, just let everybody know, like, if I have an opportunity to have promiscuous sex, I'm probably going to do it. And I don't want to get off topic here, but, in light of, like, red pill rhetoric, I'm hesitant to even say any of this stuff, like red pill, MGTOW. It's just like, that can get your channel freaking deleted in this day and age. But they just put a documentary about it on Netflix. Yeah, well, all those people are paid actors, and they're all government informants, and they're not really the real deal. But anyway, like I said, not getting off topic here, just in light of, knowledge about current year type of things, feminism, relationship struggles, the reality of being a struggling average man, just being realistic, if you have the opportunity to, date a girl and she's hot and she likes you and you don't think that you're ever going to get married, but you just, I'm not telling you not to do that. It doesn't matter what you do. I mean, what I'm saying is that I think you should believe that it does matter. what you do, even if you don't do it. Just that standard, that bar exists. So when you think back on all the girls that you could have gotten with, like I've said on streams, the hardest ones is like when you think you had a shot and you didn't take the chance or you blew it somehow. What you should believe is that if it's outside of marriage, it's degenerate, it's wrong, it's not good for you, it weighs you down. Everything that the Bible says about it. Biblical rules about sexuality. Now, if you want to say that, like, oh, you know, the Bible stole, or the Bible is a compilation of older wisdom, or the Bible emanates from the pure, etheric wisdom, like what the perennialists say, sure, whatever, okay? Whatever floats your boat. And obviously, I'm kind of maybe thinking of joining that kind of sphere. I'm somewhere in between right now on that stuff, but that doesn't matter. However you rationalize it, however you see it, there is some sort of a reality to what the Bible says about sex. So the next part goes hand in hand with that. Oh man, I just realized I was really, really, really thirsty. It's hard to even finish the explanation of the first one. They really go like this. They really go together. The second part is that you believe in fate, destiny, that God's got a plan for you, little buddy. Isn't that great? And I know it's been rough thus far. I know that it's been rough thus far. And maybe people watching this are disappointed with this advice, because it's not advice. It's like, oh, you want to indoctrinate us with your beliefs, but I post on Reddit, and I think I have 150 IQ, but really I have like 109 IQ. Anyway, not trying to get carried away here. I'm too smart. I'm an atheist. I know that nothing matters. I know that there's no reason for anybody to do anything. Ultimately, like, people created laws because that's the right thing to do for no reason. Basically, just see Jay Dyer on, what is it, like the transcendental argument. Jay Dyer is really kind of a one-trick pony. When you watch him long enough, he will just grill you on why should anybody do anything if the biblical God isn't real. And it's a good point. And, you know, it's like they say, you know, practice 1,000 kicks once and you'll get nowhere. Practice one kick 1,000 times and watch out for that guy. He's really solid with the transcendental argument reasoning because it's real. You know, God is like the anchor of the biblical morality. And what a lot of people don't seem to realize is that, you know, laws and ethics, philosophy, all kind of like emanated out of these biblical origins. And like I said, if you want to say, well, the Bible's a compilation of older stuff, the Bible stole, it emanated from the pure, I'm swimming in the pure etheric realm of morals with perennialists and the monad. It doesn't matter. It comes from something real. Okay? He's right. He's right. Like, the real anchor and foundations of why people should be good is because of the Ten Commandments, is because of what Jesus said. So destiny, fate, all of those relationships that you could have had, all of that sex that you could have had, that you didn't, all of that awesome sex with probably like 100 10 of 10s that I totally could have had, but I just didn't because, you know, it was degenerate and because God had a higher plan for me. Yeah, bro, God's got a higher plan for me. Dude, I'm just like Xavier the Renegade Angel. He just randomly starts feeling himself. I am totally Xavier the Renegade Angel. Anyway, my sunglasses are suddenly becoming uncomfortable. But no, it's real, guys. It goes hand in hand. Sex outside of marriage, you know, just compromising because, you know, oh, but dude, the red pill and marriage is a mistake, blah, 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 like all that crap. compromising that with the biblical morality, it's like you can just let it go. And then you add onto that fate, destiny, and again, trying to make it more perennialist, trying to make it a little bit more open-minded if you're somebody who's not just all about the Bible and you have different kinds of spirituality. Just that one, there's even more room to escape from the Bible, to just some sort of general, there's a reason you're here, there's a reason your life happened the way that it did. There's a reason that you were isolated. There's a reason that you were lonely. There's a reason that even though that girl was totally checking me out, yeah, and I didn't say anything and it never happened, even though it totally could have happened, there's just a reason for it. The sex was meaningless. It doesn't matter. Let it go. And there's a reason for everything. So I figure I probably don't need to ramble on much more about that. So now I'll just say, do I believe that? Do I believe in fate? Do I believe in destiny? Do I believe in biblical morality? I think people who have watched my channel long enough probably have an idea that I do. Taking fate alone right now, fate, destiny, my life can't possibly make sense without it at this point. If I lose some sort of faith in transcendent, if I lose all faith in transcendent, it's like, hey, you know what? I'm just some sort of an evolved monkey, maybe one that like aliens genetically spliced or something, or whatever I am, I'm just here. It's a cosmic accident, and or there's a wind up clock god, and he just wound it up, and I'm just like an afterthought of that, and nothing means anything. My life is all just random. Like, the fate is like of your choices. It's the ultimate boomer rant. You have to understand that, people who are struggling to believe in fate. If you don't believe in fate, if you don't believe in destiny, then everything was on you, Bucky. You really should have put some elbow grease in it, because it's all the result of your decisions, and you have no one to blame but yourself, Bucky. I don't believe that. I really just don't believe that. Too many things happened in too specific of a way. But lately, I've been in a strange place that I'm even hesitant to talk about on my stream, because I just have some things going on, man. I got some things going on. I got some hopes. And I'm in an interesting turning point in my life right now where things are either going to go one way or they're going to go another way. And I'm really kind of hoping they go this way. And what I'm finding right now is it's kind of turning on and off. Like, sometimes I believe, like, this is it. It all happened for a reason. It's symbolic. You think about where I was 10 years ago, where I'm at now, and the numbers line up, and the angel numbers, and it's all like, this is it. This is what it all led to, and it all makes sense, and it's beautiful, and this was God's plan, and everything that went wrong in the past, it needed to go wrong, and I needed to blow it with all those girls, even though they were totally checking at me out. It just all needed to happen exactly the way that it did, so I could get to this point, and this is it. This is destiny. Sometimes I feel that, and sometimes I feel, you know what, man? I just really, 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 really badly fucked up my life. And I'm just spinning around the toilet bowl, trying to cope, trying to figure out how to make it make sense when there's nothing to make sense of. I am a humanoid monkey animal, and I did this at the wrong time. And I didn't assert myself in the monkey humanoid hierarchy the right way, and now it's not looking good. You know what I was thinking of I came across a deer recently that was walking on 3 legs. Its other leg, it didn't look good. It looked like it was broken and it wouldn't touch the ground. And I saw it like hopping around on 3 legs. And I said, man, it's one thing for a deer to have an injured leg that they're limping on, but just completely off the ground, broken. That animal is crippled in the wild. And I talked to Grok about it. Like, what do you think is going to be the fate of that deer? Like, is it screwed? And it's like, hey, deer are pretty resilient. There is a chance even a particular kind of a broken leg could eventually heal. The most important part is mobility. And you saw it getting around, so that's a really good sign. But the harsh reality of nature is that injured animals are easier prey for predators, prone to infection, and the cruel reality of nature is that when they are injured, they are likely to perish, an early death. And it made me think about trauma. People who are traumatized, people who are injured in their early childhood, people who just, for whatever reason, are crippled in life. I think autism spectrum stuff is a big thing that a lot of men are struggling with these days. You are crippled. You are like an animal in the wild that has a gimpy leg. And yeah, miracles can happen, but in this world without fate, that is what you are if you are crippled. Crippled by years of isolation, crippled by well, I think you get the point. That's the negative reality. We don't want to go on and on and on and on about the negative reality. I think you get it. It's very bleak. So, do I just choose to believe in fate? Do I just choose to believe in destiny because it feels better? Because it makes it easier to cope? And then what about the sexual morality? Well, for that one, I think you can look at various cultures and occult knowledge, spiritual knowledge, theology from different religions, and it all seems to point in that direction. And it just comes down to what's worth living for, what's worth fighting for. And on some level, I had set my own example because I know that that is how I lived for the majority of my life. Even before I became the Reformed Stoic, even before I started reading lots of books, even before I was isolated, even when, I lived in Boston and I had friends and I was a dude bro, stoner, borderline alcoholic, I did have fate from a very young age. A belief in destiny, in fate. It manifested itself in many different ways. I used to read horoscopes every day. That was kind of cringe. I was doing tarot cards back then. Had a lot of interesting experiences with tarot cards. One time it predicted that somebody was going to get evicted from their apartment. They got the upside down death card. It was like, oh, well, that represents like a drastic change that's somewhat unwelcomed and shocking, like getting evicted from your apartment. I've always believed in something, you guys. I've always believed in something. And life has taken me to deep waters, deep in the desert, and I have been tempted with certain moments where it's like, you know what, man? Maybe it's just all fucking cope. Maybe I'm just that deer. I'm no better off than that deer, limping on 3 legs. And, if I heal, it's basically just a random stroke of luck from nature. The majority of animals like that in nature perish. But I look to the example of how I've lived my life thus far, and it's like, you know what? The way that I shaped the positive things that I have going for me, it was because I believed in purpose. I believed in meaning. I believed in fate. And considering about sexuality, you've probably heard it said many times, every time you have sex, you give away a little piece of yourself. And if you are somebody who's on a path possibly to success, I think you should really internalize that. Because if you ever get this success where the door swings open and you have access to all these ladies of the evening, you're gonna want to really consider that. That there is more to life than just endless fornication. Because you might get to the other end of that and realize that you are hollowed out and empty and worse off than you were before. But for people who, there's not even any sort of a realistic hope where you think like you could just get that. I mean, what the dating people say is like, oh, take a shower and slick your hair back and get looking really slick in your slacks, Bucky. Put on some really slick slacks and comb your hair back. Put some hair grease from the 50s that literally nobody uses anymore. It could be grease lightning. Just whatever people say to get girls, maybe you do that, maybe it works. It's something to consider, man. Especially, even some of the rhetoric coming from my channel lately is that men maybe really shouldn't get married. I guess what it's coming down to is what's more important to me than marriage is just love. Like, does real love exist? I feel like maybe I would find a girl who I'm like, hey babe, I don't want to get married because of like red pill internet autist shit. LMAO. She's like, okay, that's fine. It's just a ring. It's just a ceremony. It's just an expensive party. It's just some normie ritual, and I don't care. Like, I just want to be with you. And then maybe a girl who just turned out to really be a ride or die like that, maybe down the line and be like, hey, you know what? Let's do the normie ritual. Let's like do it through the Catholic Church and get married all legitimate just in case, that actually matters. That's kind of the way I see it. It's really more about real love. So, sorry if this just felt like me lecturing you about stuff that you either don't believe in or you have no interest in believing in or you don't think that you're capable of believing in. You're like, look, I would love to believe in that, but I just don't. I feel like the kind of people who find my channel, the real ones, chosen ones, number one-y, the number one-ies out there, I think you do have the potential to think that way, and I think a lot of you struggle. You struggle to believe it, but I believe that the people who really take part in this channel, that you do have that in you and you struggle. Maybe I got to where I was like 70% confidence, 30% doubt. Maybe some of you are like 55% confidence, 45% doubt. The point of this video is that all of you who are isolated and you have these questions, it's like, okay, I rotted away alone for the first 5 years of my 20s or the first 7 years of my 20s. Or I had a couple of flings, which I did too. I had a couple of flings. Like, the thing is, guys, the question with me is so weird because I had some promiscuous sex. I had a little bit of sowing wild oats. And when you spend a lot of time alone, you start to get confused. And then you look at all this red pill shit, which on some level can be very misleading. A lot of these red pill guys are atheists and they don't really believe anything fucking matters other than like material, normie, popularity contest shit. I would urge you to strive toward the transcendent, my friends, okay? Andrew Tate is just going to be like, you're a loser. I'm rich. I have everything. Women want to be with me. They don't want to be with people like you because you're a loser and I'm a winner. There's not a lot underneath him, man. It's like, yeah, he's somebody who thrived. I don't know how that impression was. I gave it a shot. I just would highly urge you guys to strive toward the transcendent, man. If you have it in you, you either do or you don't. And maybe you do and you just don't realize it. But to end the video, I do believe in fate. I don't know why. I can't sit here and logically, rationally explain to you why. A lot of people would say I'm delusional. Maybe you believe in one or not the other. It's like, yeah, I do believe in biblical sexual morality, but I don't know about fate. Or I do believe in fate, but I don't believe in biblical sexual morality. But really, I think they go hand in hand. Is there a meaning to any of this? And just one of the... And it's so funny, like atheists, they come at me so confident with... it's always thermodynamics. Like somehow thermodynamics explains how something could come from nothing, how order could come out of chaos. So, whatever, man. It's just like you either have it in you to believe or you don't. And I am expanding it beyond just the Bible because I don't work for any church. I do not belong to any particular denomination right now. I am confirmed as a Catholic. I could come crawling back at any time. I do kind of feel like I could very easily, if I ever find a good woman and I want to have a family, I probably would just be shopping cart Catholics. Like go to mass, bring my kids to mass, raise my kids in the church, maybe low key believe some kind of nutty stuff, which by the way is already a lot of Catholics, which I'm pretty sure Protestants know that. But that aside, I just believe. And it's better for you to believe. It's much, much, much better for you to believe. You will be able to continue finding a purpose. It's like, okay, God wanted me here, fate wanted me here, the universe wanted me here, Zeus wanted me here, Huga Bugatha wanted me here, whoever, the powers that be chose this for you, and they chose something for you in the future. Maybe they chose endless suffering, but you don't know. There's a reason. So I would probably put on top of that you should believe in some sort of a guiding force that does have a positive plan for you, even if you just can't see it. But you will continue thinking forward when you believe in that. I guess you could say it's kind of like the movie Castaway when he has Wilson. Okay, why does he have Wilson? He has a bloody hand and he wipes on the ball, he puts the face and he talks to Wilson and he cries when he loses Wilson. Why? Are we going to sit here and write a big essay and an expose about why? I mean, you could. Sure, you could. But that's not really the point. And it's just a waste of time. You need Wilson. You need to believe. This all happened for a reason. And all those bodies that you could or couldn't have caught. Oh man, I only slept with 5 women. I should have slept with 25. That would just basically lose more little pieces of your soul and wash away more of who you are. And a big debate right now on the internet is women talking about oh, well, men look at pornography and that's just as bad. It's not. It's way worse to sleep with 50 people than it is to look at pornography every day for 30 years straight. It wasn't quite that bad for me. And by the way, I don't really look at pornography anymore for the most part. It sounds very cringe and autistic to go to the details of of how that works, but I don't watch people have sex anymore. And I would recommend that you get to that point as well. All I'm trying to say is that pornography is bad. It is destructive. It is important for you as a man to stop looking at that. But make no mistake about it. There is a transaction going on that is effectively meaningless when you have sex with somebody that you are not married to, and especially if you have no intention of that relationship going anywhere. There is a transaction going on, and that transaction is not going on when you crank it to porn. It's not the same. Alrighty then, so that's established. My advice for you, lonely people of the world, believe in destiny, believe in fate, Your life happened for a reason. I would recommend that you watch Chosen One's content. Tread carefully. There's a lot of very, very, very special snowflakes out there saying a lot of strange stuff. There's a lot of AI slop content. There's a lot of probably like weird glowy infiltrators. Like, I have no idea what their end game is. Like, get ready, Chosen Ones. You're about to ascend into 5D consciousness. Wow. You're the best person who ever lived. Like, I think that some of those messages that, like, you're not isolated because you're a loser. You're isolated because you're a winner. It's because you're very special. It's because God has a very special plan for you. And in extension of that, there's a reason that you didn't just have a bunch of meaningless normie relationships and a bunch of meaningless sex. And for me, you know, like I said, when I lived in Boston, I used to smoke weed every day. I was a borderline alcoholic. Probably the best thing I could have did to have had more sex is just keep doing that. Because most of the sex that I had was an extension of that. You're around drunk, stupid people on drugs, and you're drunk and you're stupid on drugs, and then your private parts just kind of bash into each other, dude. I mean, it's not really special. What's special is whatever God has planned for you. So I'll leave it at that. 31 minutes. I can really fucking ramble, can't I? All right, guys. God bless you, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace out.